Hello, it's MC Cassie B, reporting live from an unknown location. Today, we are starting our second podcast in the Whatever It Takes podcast series. Today, I'm going to start off with reading my horoscope. I am a Pisces, and every day I get the horoscope out of the newspaper, very old-fashioned. And today my horoscope reads, take better care of yourself. Discuss your intentions with someone who has something to offer you. Handle partnerships with care to avoid emotional backlash. I thought that was to me, the first part of that related really well to my life. Take better care of yourself. That's something I've been focusing on a lot in my life, and I think it's important, Where it related to me is I've been trying to go to sleep earlier. I have trouble going to sleep. A lot of anxiety and just thoughts running rampant, so I've been focusing on that. And that's our horoscope. I thought today it would be fun if we do some job interview questions. I don't know. I thought it could be kind of like a game we play, because we all need to work. I don't know. I guess I'm just warming up. I don't really know too much of what I'm doing today. I'm here, but I wish I was more present. Right now, I have a list of job interview questions, and I'm not going to do ones that really have to do with just getting a job, like how did you find out about this job, or things like that, because it wouldn't really relate to what we're doing right now. But I thought I could do some of these questions, like tell me about yourself. What's your greatest weakness? What's your greatest strength? Things like that, just to kind of play a getting to know you game. And I think it's important to think about these things, because there's going to be times where mostly everyone from 16 to who knows how old until you retire, where you're going to really have to know how to answer these questions and know how to correctly, I don't know if I can teach you these things. That's not really what I'm trying to do, but just kind of put the thought in your mind about, trying to, if this is something you're struggling with and you're going to have to do in the future, sometimes it's nice to be reminded, oh, these are kind of the types of questions. These are what we have to do. But what we're doing is kind of a more fun version. I'm just going to read the questions, answer them, try to get kind of comfortable when I'm doing this podcast. And yeah, trying to just have a bunch of fun. I want to be relaxed and then talk about some other things that happened this week and that I'm trying to work towards and work through, and just really have a great time. I hope you are all just having a nice week. All right. Tell me about yourself. I have to think. I'm not doing super well. Tell me about yourself. Well, I like to think that I am a hardworking person, someone who goes above and beyond, and someone who is willing to, work hard to learn what I need to know to advance myself in this type of field. And yeah, I don't know, that was a practice one. I'll call cut. That was a practice one, really. When you're doing an interview in real life, I think it's important to get a book with these questions and really practice them beforehand. I think you can kind of tell I'm a little nervous, I'm a little unprepared, I'm a little, not really. I didn't do any vocal warm-ups for this podcast. I didn't do any planning really for these questions. Like, I didn't practice them beforehand, so it sounds very, kind of put together, which is totally fine. This is just for fun. So, yeah. Let's do another one. What is your greatest weakness? This is something I think everyone kind of has to think about in times, because you don't know where to improve if you don't think about what you're not very good at. I think my greatest weakness is sometimes I'm too hard on myself and I don't realize it. Or I stress myself out without having to. There will be things that I want to achieve, I want to do, but I'll put a lot of pressure on that because I want to do them so much. I make it something that is harder than it needs to be. I will make myself not want to do it even more because of all that pressure. And I think that's something we all have to kind of watch ourselves and kind of realize when we're doing, because things can be very hard, but we don't have to make them harder. Yeah, just breathing through it and learning slowly, realizing how long things take, and I think that's important. Now, what is your greatest strength? My greatest strength is that I never give up. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I'm willing to learn them, and I'm willing to have a good attitude about it and never give up. There's a lot of times in a person's life where things won't be okay, they won't be necessarily happy, but I'm willing to work through that to really get to where I want to be. Yeah. What do you do in your current role? This is kind of a question that is, I said we're not going to do questions that are really towards a job, but I would like to do this one. My current role is, right now I'm not working for a time because I'm studying, but my role before this, for 2 years, I was working at a coffee shop as a barista, and that was really fun. It was really good. I kind of worked up to a point where there was no room for improvement, so I decided to leave that, but I really enjoyed the people I worked with. I really liked that. It was a good job for me to work and to start with and to grow my confidence in. And it's always something you could go back to if you wanted to have another job or you needed a break from what you we're doing. It's nice to know a skill. What major challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? The major challenges I faced in my life, there was a lot of instability. There was a lot of neglect, and there was a lot of things that people should have known were happening, but didn't, because they didn't pay attention. They were in their own world too much, and that's fine, but it wasn't okay in the regarding my own life, how I developed and how I grew up, and I needed somebody to be there and they weren't. And I've learned to move past that, but it's still, at times it becomes hard to, it becomes hard because you do have all that baggage. But I think it's hard to say that we really ever overcome things, because things leave, they leave a lasting impression. And it might not be things we think about every day, but they're still there. I think I've overcome it, but I think I've overcome what I faced by not letting it affect my future, what I will work towards, what I want. I believe with hard work, you can achieve anything, but I think hard work, it's called hard work for a reason. It's not easy. I think it's really, I would have liked to have both my feet on the ground without having to kind of build that for myself. I was basically, in quicksand all my life. I don't know. And that was hard. But I think I'm overcoming, maybe not overcoming, I think I'm at least standing face to face with the things that are hard in my life. And I'm proud of that. This is an interesting one. What makes you the ideal candidate? What makes me the ideal candidate? I'm just so gosh darn cool. I'm just so great. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't know. I'm a hard worker, and and I have proof to back it up, and that's nice. It's nice to, this is something I'm serious about, like improving your resume and just like, I think that's important for a job. I think that's important for, we're kind of having a serious podcast today. But I think if you're serious about like getting the upper foot and, improving your life so you can have a job you enjoy, because jobs they're not forever. Sometimes you have a job you love, you really love it, you work there a long time, and then slowly you realize it's not what you want. So it's important to really be able to learn the skills you need to know to be able to work somewhere you want to work. And what I say a lot is there has to be something you're getting out of it. Either you really love the work, but you're not being paid very much, or you're being paid a lot and you're just okay with the work. You know, it's not something you're always gonna do. I think one of the most important things to know is boundaries, though. It's so important to know what you're gonna take from people, because there's some jobs where I've been in jobs where I had to quit after about 2-3 weeks. After 3 weeks, I put in my 2 weeks notice because there was things that weren't right, like the managers weren't acting appropriately, and I knew I wasn't going to take that. You know, I know people are only going to treat you as good as you treat yourself. You know, if you allow people to act that way, you know, that's going to continue throughout your whole life. I think it's so important to know your worth. And sometimes you don't see your worth as you should. But everyone deserves respect. We're all people. And when you work in a job, there's a manager, but they shouldn't disrespect you. Just because they have a title above you, it doesn't mean that they have that right not to treat you with decency. So that's something to remember when you're looking for a job. And when you have a job, sometimes we forget that, you know, there's that human right. What is your motivation? For me, my motivation is that feeling of standing on solid ground. It's, if I don't work hard, and not necessarily saying you have to work hard all the time, you need to take breaks too. But if I don't do all these things, like, you know, get my license myself, go to school myself, do all these things on my own, then no one's gonna do them for me. I'm basically, sometimes in your life when people haven't, especially your parents, haven't really done what they should in your life, you feel like, well, I guess it's basically like you have to create your own world, create your own stability, because it wasn't, you know, put there for you. Your parents didn't, you know, the people who are supposed to be supporting you didn't, you know, not even financially supporting, but love and motivation and support. They didn't build that for you. They didn't set that up for you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm having a hard time explaining it right now, but maybe you understand when things like friendship and security and even food and shelter aren't the requirements for those things aren't met, then you have to get them all for yourself. So you're basically starting nowhere. You're basically having to spend years of your life when you turn 18 into adult, or you finally can get out of the bad situation you are in. You're spending years of your life trying to build up those supports that weren't in your life before. And it's really hard. But what motivates me is knowing that, you know, they're not going to be there. Those supports aren't going to be there unless I make the conscious effort to have them. And sometimes it's really hard, but, you know, I want security, I want friendship, I want love, I want everything everybody else has or wants. I want everything everybody else wants. And that's okay. And that's great, actually. I feel good when I achieve my goal, even if it's more stressfully and if it's on my own, because I know it's building security for myself. So that's what motivates me. Yeah. Well, those were most of the interview questions. The other ones didn't really relate to our topic. But I think this was very fun. Very fun, everyone. Thank you for participating in that if you did. It'd be good if you can answer those questions for yourself. And I want to do them again, too, because I wasn't too ready today. But someday, have some confidence. So, the next thing I'm going to talk about is something fun I did. And I don't know, it was just something different. I had never watched the VMAs, the Music Video Awards on MTV. And I did this year, and it was nice. I didn't really know very much of the music, but I knew the 2 songs that began it all, like the Stay and Good For You by Olivia Rodriguez. And that was kind of funny because usually I don't listen to too much like pop music, and I've never watched the awards. But I don't know, I could sing and dance to those 2, so I did, and it was really fun. Yeah. I don't know, it's something I haven't talked about the last podcast, but I really love singing. And I'm actually learning to play the guitar right now. I'm doing pretty well. It's something that's a little hard for me to learn because I had never gone to like school or received much of a education. But like now that I'm older and can choose what I want to do, it's so nice to start learning something. I'm not great at it, but when you start something, you shouldn't expect to be. I really want to continue with it. I want to practice. I want to do all these things. I have dreams of just being able to learn this stuff and taking it as a hobby, and maybe someday like performing with other people. I think that would be very fun. I know I can do it eventually with practice and hard work, and it's so good. I love to sing. I love to listen to music. I love to do all that stuff. I love other people's music. I guess a lot of the music I listen to is older music. I listen to a lot of Billy Joel and the Killers and the Monkees, but I love the new stuff too. It's so fun to see what's coming out. I'm really excited for life. I'm really excited to be living this life with lots of opportunities. It's definitely not always a happy life, but I feel like I'm finally starting to stand on solid ground. And I don't think I could be doing this right now if I wasn't where I am, doing what I'm doing, going through all of the hard things that I've gone through. But I finally feel like I am standing and that feels great. Yeah, so that was so much fun. New experiences, guys. Yeah. I'm thinking it's kind of funny. My birthday isn't till February, but I don't know. I keep just bringing it up, like, to myself and getting excited about, like, Christmas and my birthday and Halloween and Thanksgiving and all these things that are kind of far away still. But just, like, thinking of projects and fun things to do and actually really getting into it. Yeah, I'm also thinking of next year and this summer, starting to make my plan for gardening and stuff. I want to have a garden next year. I was living somewhere where that wouldn't be possible, but now I'm living somewhere where I'm able to do that, I think. And it's going to be so much fun. And there's only 4 months left in the year. But also, I see it like there's 4 months left in the year. That's so great. Oh, I'm having a good time. And I hope you are too if you're watching this. Yeah. Someday we will look back on this and think, yeah, that was good. I'm glad my birthday came and Christmas and oh my gosh, my friends, seeing my friends and giving people Christmas cookies you make and making Christmas cards. I make Christmas cards every year with I have 2 dogs, so they're the star of the Christmas card. And it's just so amazing to be able to do this, and I hope I'm able to do this every week. It's sometimes hard. I want to try putting these on other platforms too, other than YouTube. Right now it's just YouTube because that's really what I know how to do. And yeah, but this is great. Yeah, I wonder, yeah. So, something else that's really nice to think about is the new year. And yeah, I'm really excited for the new year. I want to have 10 resolutions. I know some people don't like resolutions, but I think if you really think them out, I think they can be really fun and you can get them all done if it's like a plan thing. Sometimes they're just too vague for anyone to really be able to do, like, oh, I want to become a movie star. It's like, how are you going to do that if you don't have a plan? So I really want to make a plan, not to become a movie star, but to what my resolutions are going to be. Probably have things to do with playing the guitar and singing and taking vocal lessons and things like that. Getting new jobs and maybe even working part-time too. Just really having a good end of the year. There's still so much time left in this year though. So I'm really excited to be able to experience this. I don't want it to go too quickly. I don't want to focus on other things and let this time just go away. I want to focus on it all. I think it's so good to be able to do this. Well, it's time to sign off, so I'm going to yell. So if you're not ready, get ready. 1, 2, 3, whatever it takes. That was awful, but that's okay. Goodbye.